We know more tonight about a story that has prompted a lot of concern among Cuban Americans. CBS 4 found a section of the website of the American Embassy in Havana that describes the scary things that could happen to Cuban Americans and their children if they visit the island. Hank Tester reports.
Travel to Cuba, a hot topic in South Florida, especially when local travelers heard about a post on the U.S. Embassy Havana website. And here it is. The government of Cuba does not recognize the U.S. nationality of U.S. citizens who are Cuban-born or are the children of Cuban parents. These individuals will be treated solely as Cuban citizens and may be subject to a range of restrictions and obligations, including military service. The Cuban government may require U.S. citizens, whom the government of Cuba considers to be Cuban, to enter and depart Cuba using a Cuban passport.
Last year, the American Embassy put out an advisory as to travel to Cuba. And in it, erroneously, they said that children born of Cuban parents in the United States, when they travel to Cuba, will be considered Cubans.
Never mind that there's an obscure statement in a sub-file of a U.S. embassy in an obscure location.
Any child born of Cuban parents, born in the United States, is an American. If they travel to Cuba, they're considered to be Americans. They go with their American passport.
Monday, the verbiage on the U.S. Embassy's website was revamped and read in part, the government of Cuba does not recognize the U.S. nationality of U.S. citizens who are Cuban-born. But nowhere did it mention American-born children or military service. And
we have been traveling to Cuba for decades, Cuban-born individuals and Cuban Americans. And this issue hasn't come up.
The website information changed, but no comment on why from the State Department. I'm Hank Tester, CBS 4 Tonight.